Hey everyone, it's Nate. Today I'm going to show you the top money mistakes you should avoid at all costs. Let's get it. Welcome back everyone. My name is Nate and I'm here to help you master your money. So can we be honest today? Let's do that. Let's be honest between you and me and we'll just do that, okay? Okay. So let's face it, we've all made really dumb mistakes when it comes to money. We all have. No one's exempt from this. Well, maybe except like Warren Buffett. But aside from that, everyone else, we done messed it up at some point. And so making money mistakes can look different to different people depending on what situation they're in. For some people, that may look like buying a used Mercedes with 150,000 miles on it, which you're totally convinced is going to be a great buy and is not going to give you any mechanical issues ever. Or another scenario may be you go to school and you get a degree in underwater basket weaving, but the markets aren't super good right now, and so you have to settle on getting a job not in the underwater basket weaving field. Oh no, the above water basket weaving field is hiring those, so you go there, but it doesn't pay as well. And so that was maybe a little bit dramatic. But what isn't dramatic is making the next mistake of not smashing the YouTube algorithm for the like button. All right, so with all kidding aside, let's actually get into the video. The reason why you all clicked on my pretty little thumbnail and came all the way here, I thank you for making it this far. But now the actual valuable part of the content I have to deliver is coming. So I'm going to go through these points here, and they're not in any particular order. They are just here to consume, to learn and know, and to hopefully avoid. So starting off with number one, it is going to be credit card debt that you want to avoid. Now you can absolutely avoid credit card debt. There is no reason you should go into credit card debt, and with these few tips I'm going to give you, you can do that and avoid that. So one of the things that I see quite a bit, and it's the reason for a lot of credit card debt, is lifestyle inflation. So when you get some money coming in, when you get a little extra cash here, or you get a tax return refund here, you may go ahead and just spend a little bit of extra money at some given point in time. The problem comes is when you have this money that's coming in go away, or your income changes, but you maintain the habits of when you had the extra cash. The thing you want to avoid is doing this habitually and continually, because if you live above your means for a long enough time, you're going to find yourself in debt pretty quickly. So I have 3 little tips that are going to help you avoid credit card debt and help you build your credit and enable you to subscribe to the channel, because that'd be great. I'm kidding about that last one, or am I? So when it comes to credit card, here are my 3 tips. Tip 1, don't spend any more money than what you already have. So if you typically spend, say, $500 a month on your card, don't go spend like $1,000 or like $5,000 because you don't have that much money. You can't cover that. So step 2 is going to be when you get your statement for your credit card bill, pay the thing off in full. Pay the whole thing off. Don't pay the minimum payment. And I know it can be tempting to do that because, you look at it and say, the minimum payment's $25. But my statement balance, that's $500. And so you do some quick maths to figure out which is better. And clearly long term, immediately, obviously $25 is less than $500, but you'll be paying that $25 for a month for probably decades, honestly. I'm not exactly sure. It depends card to card what that looks like. But always pay your credit card bill off in full. Do that. So step 3 is going to be right in line with number 1 and 2, and this is going to be to pay off your statement balance in full. And this is the key thing here. Number 3 is to pay it before it's due or on the day it's due, and you do this for a few reasons. 1, it's good to just get it out of the way as soon as possible and to never be late in a bill. If you're always on time with your credit card payment and you never ever overspend, you're going to very likely increase your credit score, which is going to be great long term. In addition to this, you will never pay a cent of interest on the purchases you have in your credit card if you always pay the full statement balance of your credit card on or before the day that it is due. If you do this, no interest ever. So do these things. So do these 3 little things and you will avoid this whole thing altogether. All right, so in the intro of the video, I briefly touched on this, but this next step is going to involve purchasing unnecessarily expensive or luxury vehicles when you're young. So I know it can seem really cool to go ahead and get a used BMW, Mercedes, Range Rover, Jaguar, something of that nature. and just drive it and like have tons of fun with it. And they are super cool vehicles. Don't get me wrong there. But the maintenance on these things is astronomical. And these vehicles, specifically those 4 that I mentioned, have pretty horrendous reliability, everything. So avoid those if you absolutely can, because yes, the payment may be reasonable, but the maintenance you're going to be paying on them is going to be ridiculous. And probably it's going to match what you're paying as a monthly payment if you average it out. So instead of buying used luxury German and Italian cars, here's what you can do. Buy Japanese cars. Typically, Japanese cars have really solid reliability. Also, they're very inexpensive to maintain. So really, for most of the Japanese cars, like Toyota, Lexus, Mitsubishi, the only thing you'll really have to do is put tires in the car, put oil in it, and put gas, and occasionally a few belts. Aside from that, you're really not going to have much else that you're going to have to cover. And really, of those 3 brands, I would really recommend Toyota. They have the reputation of being the reliable brand. They're very inexpensive and they last forever. If you go to cars.com right now, you can do it right now, you'll find a bunch of Toyotas that are just a few years old that have really low miles that are under 10 grand for what is essentially a brand new car. Go ahead, check these out, and if you're gonna go ahead and get a car, get one of these because they will last you probably for well over a decade. All right, so the next money mistake you're gonna want to avoid is going to be getting a degree. Now, I don't mean just getting a degree, but getting a useless degree, or even worse, starting college and taking out student loans to pay for your education and then stopping going to college. Because it's a terrible situation it puts you in. It's really bad. It really is. What happens is when you go ahead and get student loans, after 6 months of not being in school, you have to start paying those back. So typically, people will go ahead, take their loans, get their degree, graduate, and then once they're settled into a job, 6 months after graduation, they give them a little bit of time in there to get that figured out. That's when you have to start paying that back. But 6 months after you leave school, you have to start paying those loans back regardless of whether or not you got a degree or not. This can put you in a very precarious financial position because you have a massive bit of student debt that you have to pay on that will never go away by bankruptcy, and then no degree to go ahead and get a better job with. So you see kind of the combination of things is really challenging. So what I'd recommend is before you go to college is you weigh the options and you figure it out, is this going to be worth it for me to go? And am I going to be able to finish? So while you're taking inventory before you go to college, you also want to think about the possibility of getting a decent job once you graduate. And so in this, you want to consider and do your research on this as well, depending on what kind of field you want to go into. But let's say you just go ahead and you spend $100,000 to get your degree. But your degree path, the one you're thinking about, once you get your degree, it only pays like $30,000 a year. On $30,000 a year, it's very challenging just to live, let alone pay back student loans and live at the same time. So you really want to make sure before you go in and figure out the math on this, is there going to be a big demand for my degree in 4 or 5 years when I graduate? Is there going to be long-term career growth in this? Can I stay in this career path for a long time and get a decent amount of money back for the time that I put in? These are things to consider because this is essentially an investment, and when you go spend your time and money like this, you're investing in yourself so you can go ahead and have a higher earning potential and better take care of your family. All right, so on to this next thing to avoid in your 20s, and that is going to be buying designer/expensive clothes. Now, I know that this is something that a lot of people do, and a lot of people are guilty of, and you know, I've done it too. And most of the time, I have done it with a reason and rationale behind it. And let me explain that. So when I say that it is a money mistake to spend $700 on some Gucci loafers or $300 on a Prada belt, I do mean that. That's ridiculous. There's no reason anyone should spend that much money for something like that. That's crazy. There's no need for any of that. Ever, period. But if you are going to spend more money for clothes, make sure it is worth it and that the clothes provide a decent value for what you're paying for it. So there are a few things that I have gotten that have been a bit pricier, and there's a reason for getting those. And one is either they have a lifetime warranty in them, or two, they last forever, so there's no need for a lifetime warranty. These two things in combination with them being practical and usable means that I will spend a bit more money on them because, you know what, I have the philosophy of things like that, like, you know, items that I buy, I don't want to have to buy it twice. I only want to buy it once. So if I'm gonna buy it once, I wanna buy it right, and I'm gonna spend a little extra to make sure that I don't have to go back to the store in like 4 months when the seams blow out on something or the thing just falls apart because I pulled one thread on it. I don't like that. So I'd rather buy it once and have it last me a lifetime. So when you do wanna go ahead and spend a little extra money on some clothes, but you don't wanna be wasteful, consider buying brands like Patagonia and LL Bean. These brands here, they provide lifetime warranties on their stuff. Their stuff lasts forever. It's excellent quality. And in reality, their stuff's just practical. They're designed to be that way, and so I only have to buy their stuff once, so I'm done buying clothes for the next 20-ish years possibly. I don't know. We'll see. But I think they're an excellent value for what they have, and I would definitely recommend buying from them. I'm going to link their websites down in the description just in case you want to check them out. So aside from brands like that, for regular clothes, everyday stuff, I would recommend checking out places like Ross, TJ Maxx, and Marshalls. They're great for just generic everyday stuff, jeans, shirts, belts, shoes, you name it, they're gonna have it. And if you wanna be even more budget conscious, you can go to Walmart and spend $10 for a pack of like 7 shirts. That's a pretty good deal in my mind, and I'm actually thinking about gonna go do that. So when this video is all done recording, I'm gonna go grab me some shirts, and you may see them in the next video, if you're lucky. Step number 5 is going to be to avoid expensive trips. Now, I know that I am one that has been on a few of those, but you know what? Sometimes it's worth it to do that, and other times it's not. So my wife and I, we absolutely love to travel, and we kind of met through traveling, and so we like to go and explore new places and do new things. And so for our honeymoon after our wedding, we actually went on a cruise that went to a few new countries we had not been to. And at the time, we were relatively broke college kids, and we had to pay for the whole thing ourselves. And we got a killer deal on a cruise that went all around the Caribbean, and we got to see a bunch of sweet stuff. And it was an incredible value. It was a great deal for what it was, and we were able to enjoy ourselves and have fun, and it was really great. But we got an absolute steal on the whole arrangement, so it really was worth it to us. But if you're being smart and super money savvy, we could have actually possibly gotten that whole trip for free. So in case you didn't know, you can actually use credit card points to get travel for free. You can get hotels, you can get flights, you can get cruises, all for free using points earned through spending on your credit card. And so going back to step 1, if you use your credit card responsibly and you can rack up these points, you save them up and then you go trade them in for an incredible experience. Well, that's the way to do it. That is the way to travel for free, like all the time. It's incredible. It's something my wife and I do constantly, and I would recommend it to anyone who is trying to go travel and enjoy things but just feels that, you know what, spending $4,000 to go someplace for a week, that's ridiculous. So you know what, just do it for free. Do it my way and it will be free. So I know that I've talked about this before and I've mentioned it quite a bit, and you know what, really guys, it's the way to go for traveling. It makes it incredibly accessible to basically anyone. All you need to have is a relatively okay credit score and you can do this trick. So simply what you'll do is you'll open a credit card that offers you rewards for your spending. You'll save up all the points that they give you, and then after a year or so, however long it is before you rack up enough points to go do something fun with them, you go ahead and use them and you get to go travel and stay and boats and go somewhere for free. It really is the best way to do things. And in the description, I'm going to link a few of the cards that I think really are the best for this, best for new credit card users or new-ish credit card users. And so I'm going to give you guys a list of things that can really help you out to get started and how to best use them. So look for that in the description. All right, so this next tip, I'm guilty of this because, you see, I'm from the Northeast, and we don't have tacos up there. But there's tacos in Texas. There's a lot of tacos in Texas. And so I buy tacos sometimes too much. And I know that. And I'm working on that. But you know what? It's an issue. And I'm working on that. I recognize that. And this is kind of my point here. Eating out too often is one of the money mistakes that I think just about everyone makes. Everyone's guilty of it. And at some point in time, you're just going to go out several times a week to a restaurant. It may have been a crazy week. Things may have been happening. You may have had work stuff going on, family emergencies. I get it. I really do. And so what you want to do, if at all possible, is do these few things I'm going to mention in a second to help mitigate spending money like this. So one thing that I've really found successful and helpful is when you cook food, make a big batch of it all at once. It's going to be cheaper to do a big batch of food, and it's going to take the same amount of time as making a small batch of food, but you only do it once. So make a big batch of food at the beginning of the week whenever you're cooking, and then eat that throughout the week. Doing this is going to help deter you from having an impulse thought to go, oh, let's go out to grab something to eat and whatever, because you think, oh no, we got food at home. And so you go check in the fridge and you got some like yummy stuff in there, so you go grab that and it's like 25 cents a serving versus you going to the restaurant and it's like $20 a serving. Money smarts. And so in addition to doing this with food, you could also do it with beverages as well. And by the way, the beverage market at restaurants is ridiculous. You go get coffee or anything else, and it's ridiculously expensive, but in reality, it only costs the restaurants a few cents, but they charge you like $5. So here's what you do. Go buy yourself a coffee maker. They're $10, literally $10. You make coffee at home for like 15 cents a cup, and that's it. Honestly, if you make like just 2 cups of coffee, you'll have paid for your coffee maker. That's it, because it's like you spend 15 cents per cup versus $5 per cup. So I mean, 2.5-ish maybe with tax, but do this and you will save a lot of money. It really adds up quickly. So all the things that I've been talking about have been spending too much money on non-essential things. That's basically what I've been talking about. And so really what you can do is look at all of this and see kind of the common thing. And that is going to be my next point here. And that is going to be the mistake of not saving money before you spend. So when you go ahead and you save money before you spend it, you prioritize your savings and you put it first. When you build your budget, when you do whatever you do, if you make savings the first thing that you take care of, it will always get taken care of. Because once you save money and you put it away and then you don't touch it, you leave it alone. Once you do that, you go ahead and you can adjust the rest of your budget to match up with that and to work with that. But if you save last and you save after you spend all your money, I mean, honestly, you probably already spent your money. It's gone. So save first, do that first, and you'll figure the rest out. So one other tip with this is a little psychology thing. So if you have that money that you're saving, once you've saved first, and you keep it in your bank account, you're almost 100% guaranteed to spend that if it is in there, in your regular normal bank account. So do this instead. Instead of keeping it in your bank account where you can get to it, where you can see it, put it into a brokerage account, like a stock trading app, or like Robinhood or Webull. Just deposit the money into there, leave it alone, and psychologically it'll shift something in your mind. So instead of your savings sitting in your bank account, it is now in your investment account. And just because it's a different kind of account, you can still, you access your money and pull it out whenever you want, and it's not going anywhere. Like you don't have to invest it in anything. It's just sitting there. And so that switch in your mind from it sitting in a bank account to an investment account makes you significantly less likely to touch it. So when you're saving, put the money into a brokerage account and leave it alone. So 2 good apps I'm going to link in the description below will help you get started with this. They're super easy to use. You can use it from your phone. It's easy to log in and transfer things and make trades. But really for this example, they will really help you out greatly. So the 2 apps are going to be called Webull and Robinhood. Both of them are great. Both of them have a lot of good benefits to them. And if you sign up and deposit $100 with Webull, they will give you 2 free stocks. And with Robinhood, if you just sign up and set up your account, they will give you a free stock. So you get 3 free stocks in total if you just set them up and deposit $100. So get your free stonks and save money at the same time. Okay, so we're moving on from saving and expenses, and now we're going to be getting into making money for you. This is a very exciting and fun topic to cover because I love finding little ways to just increase your income. Once you start doing it, your mind keeps thinking and going, and you recognize opportunities and things wherever you go, and you see opportunities for arbitrage. You see opportunities for improvement and efficiency increases. You see ways to increase the bottom line. And so when you see these things, you want to try applying them to your life. So take your analytical mind, take your thoughts and ideas and apply them to your life and work and use those ideas to build multiple streams of income. So your 20s are an incredible time when you have all this energy and optimism and you can take on the world. And most people aren't going to have a whole lot of responsibilities to take care of. So this is an excellent time to pursue your dreams, to try new things, and to, in the end, increase the amount of income you have going in through multiple different avenues. So there's a couple ways you can do this. One is to pick up a side hustle, and I have a whole video about that up above. One of the ones that I do is selling life insurance, and when I do it, I make between $500 and $1,000 per hour on the side. I do it after work sometimes, on the weekends, and I can essentially match my regular salary with just a few hours of work. It's a really great thing to be able to do. I get to help people out and make sure they get to secure their legacy. But there are other things that you can do. You can write a book, you can start a YouTube channel. You can also do things like develop a course on something you're an expert on, start selling stuff on Amazon or eBay, flipping items on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist and things like that. There's so many opportunities out there to increase your income and have something going on the side while you work on your main career. Okay, so this last thing is going to be a pretty simple one and a pretty clear one too, and that is going to be not investing earlier. So one of the things you want to consider with investing is the power of compounding interest. Compounding interest takes what money you put in and grows it exponentially, taking just a few $1,000s of investment and turning it into potentially hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars down the road. And the two most important factors when you're investing is going to be, one, the interest rate, the rate of return you're getting for your money and how much that's earning you. And then two, one of the most important, I think, because you can't get any more of this, and that is the time you have it invested. So if you start young, you start early, you start investing now, there is zero reason why you should not be able to have at least $1 million net worth by the time you retire. Now, I know this sounds outlandish and crazy, but this is, honestly, reality. If you start right now, so let's say you're 20 years old and you go ahead right now and you open up a Roth IRA and you input $76 per month for the next 40 years at an average return of 13.05%, you are going to be able to retire with a net worth, with a retirement fund value of just over $1 million, just for $75 a month. That's it. That is literally just $2.50 a day. If you just invest that, if that's all you invest, you can retire a millionaire. That is all it takes. But the key is here is the 40 years of time for that to mature and grow. So start now, start as early as you can, invest as much as you can, and your retirement will be quite nice. So with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I loved making it for you guys. This is what I enjoyed to do. I love to tell you guys how to do your money. But in all seriousness, this is fun for me, and I like to help you guys out in any way that I can. These are things that, honestly, I have had to talk to a lot of people about, and I've asked my friends for input. So for everyone that I talked to that contributed and helped me figure out this stuff here, I thank you. This is a great help, and I would not have been able to make this video without you guys. Thank you so much. You are the best. So with that said, guys, I hope you have a fantastic week. I will see you next time. Bye.